The following is a presentation of the Championship Racing Network.
Crossed Flags, a racing podcast. It's your midweek fix for racing news and information. Brought to you by the Championship Racing Network. Now let's head trackside to join your hosts, Steve West and Matt Nicholson.
Welcome into the Dog Days edition of Crossed Flags. It's hot. As Robin Williams said in Good Morning Vietnam, it's hot. It's hot. It's damn hot. And it is. Welcome to it, though. It also means that things are heating up silly season-wise. Formula E just ended their season. A couple of teams are going to be looking for some new drivers. We'll detail that coming up on Saturday morning during the big show. Right now, what we want to do is we want to talk about the 48 car. The 48 car was one of those things that a couple of weeks ago, we kind of got a little surprised. And I say a little because in the end, you and I, Matt, we were kind of thinking Alex Bowman probably was close to done, and he confirmed it. He surprised us a little bit by saying he was going to run one more full-time season in 2027, and then he was going to hang it up, at least on a full-time basis.
Yeah, that's with the symptoms and stuff he's been dealing with, not terribly surprised.
Yeah. It does leave a door open. Obviously, you can fill in from time to time because I'm sure Rick Hendrick will be more than happy to have him, spot fill whenever he's needed. If somebody's sick or has a weird scheduling conflict, Kyle Larson, or something like that, obviously he would be on call. And let's face it, for any Chevrolet driver, Alex Bowman wouldn't be a bad guy to call if you needed somebody to sit in for you for a race or two.
I agree.
All right. So that left us wondering, you and I, we both said that we figured it was going to be Connor Zilisch, but obviously we didn't know 100% for sure. So we said, we think it'll be him, but we're going to wait for the official word. Well, this is Tuesday, August the 18th, as we are recording this particular podcast. Yesterday, the announcement came down. Producer John, would you please show the picture? It is indeed Connor Zilisch going to be stepping out of the Trackhouse racing car, and he's going to slide over and take over the number 48 Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports, which has a whole lot of people freaking out. They're just like, well, yeah, the rich just got richer. There are benefits to being as strong as Rick Hendrick's team is.
That it is. When he basically bought out Zilisch's contract. When you can buy out somebody's contract, yeah, you got that ability.
Yeah, absolutely. Connor Zilisch not having a great year. This is just, for all intents and purposes, rookie year. Not having a great year over at Trackhouse Racing. Is this the fault of the driver? Is this the fault of the team? The fault of the equipment? Is there a combination going on here? What's going on with Connor Zilisch this year? Because right now he's 34th in the standings after Richmond.
Right now with them, it's a team and equipment problem.
So it's not necessarily him.
No, when you got it, Trackhouse is an organization that's won 2 races this year. Shane Van Gisbergen and it's Sonoma and Walker Lee.
Right.
All right.
Which we kind of expected, and we expected him to do more.
That's Connor Zilisch got his first top 10 at Sonoma. Okay, but when you take out of the picture that it's SVG on a road course and you go essentially go the late Kyle Busch mode, and it's a pencil in win when you're in an Xfinity, O'Reilly, or Truck Series race.
Sure.
That's what you do with Shane Van Gisbergen now on a road course, whether it's O'Reilly, Truck, or Cup.
Yeah.
That's a given.
Right.
But when you look at the oval side of it, from Trackhouse, Ross Chastain is really not setting the world on fire either.
Very true.
He's had a lower year this year. The one that's pulling the weight of Trackhouse this year is Shane Van Gisbergen, because you can legitimately look at him and how he does on a week-to-week basis, and you can tell his confidence level is increasing on ovals.
Yes.
Now, are they increasing on the 1.5 miles? Kinda.
Not as exponentially.
Not as exponentially, but kinda.
Yeah. I mean,
The
we can
road
see
course-
him.
Yeah.
We can see him getting much more confident in his oval track racing overall.
Yeah.
But like you
Super-
said, for him being the road course kind of guy that he is, and you know this as well as anybody else, and even he got the advice, I think it was last year, and I can't remember who gave it to him right offhand, but he said, treat this short track, and I want to say it might have even been Martinsville, treat the short track like a road course.
Come
And
from AJ Allmendinger.
Thank you. And it changed, it kind of flipped a switch in Shane Van Gisbergen's mind, and he was like, oh, wait a minute, now I know how to attack this. And suddenly think about what he did at Richmond, certainly in the Truck Series race where he got himself a top 5, but he's just that much more comfortable at shorter tracks all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's been quietly impressive on those short tracks, because I don't think anybody had him, out of all places, in North Wilkesboro, leading 49 laps of the race.
And legitimately taking the lead himself.
And legitimately clean passing Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
And he gets on the radio and says, oh, you fill in the blank. I'm leading. What do I do now?
What do I do now? Keep going. That's what you keep doing. That's what you
do. And with the super speedways, from my viewpoint, he's gotten a better grasp on Atlanta than he has Talladega and Daytona, because Atlanta, he's finished top 10 both races this year. So
yeah,
he's got a better grasp on Atlanta, other than Daytona and Talladega.
Yeah,
the intermediates are hit. I'm going to say they're hit and miss.
Gotcha.
But the short tracks, where I would say some of the bread and butter is, he's basted the butter on the bread pretty well.
Well, and you and I both know this very, very well. Daytona and Talladega, you can have all the talent in the world in a fantastic car, but you're reliant on others.
You are.
So, I can't really blame him. I think the biggest curiosity actually isn't Connor Zilisch or SVG. I think the bigger curiosity is Ross Chastain and what the heck has happened to him, because this guy was a championship contender just a couple of years ago, and he seems like he's kind of fallen off the edge of the table.
Crew chief change
makes a difference, that it does. So Connor Zilisch, heralded young kid, yes, road course hotshot, but he's proven himself quite capable. Think about what he did last year in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and how dominant he was. He was dominant in everything except for winning the title, which is really just kind of the fluke of the way that the playoffs were last year, and one of the reasons why we got rid of the playoffs for the chase instead. I think if we had the chase last year, it wouldn't have been any contest whatsoever. I think he would have walked away with it.
Zilisch would have had it sewed up at Talladega in the fall.
Yeah, agreed.
He was that far ahead.
So Connor Zilisch goes over there, and at this point in time, that means they're set, I think, at least through the 2028 season. I haven't looked at all the contracts over there, but I think they got Kyle Larson locked in. I think they've got William Byron locked in. I think they got Chase Elliott locked in, all through at least the 2028 season. That's a pretty good young crowd right there when you stop and think about it, because at that point in time, you're talking about the veteran being an early to mid 30s Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. That's not too shabby.
No, it's really not. And then from seniority standpoint within the team, you will now have Chase Elliott as your senior driver of the organization.
There's a plus and a minus to that. The plus is he's a quiet leader, but the minus would be the quiet part, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
He really doesn't catch me as being the verbal kind of leader.
No.
Kyle Larson will step up and he'll say stuff. Chase Elliott, he'll be a lot more reserved about the whole thing, which may not be the worst thing in the world.
No, I agree.
Because Connor Zilisch probably doesn't need somebody breathing down his neck. He needs somebody that's going to say, hey, listen, this is what you're doing and this is how you can fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves us with Trackhouse. Trackhouse Racing's owner, Justin Marks, put out a statement, which producer John's going to put up on the screen here, and I'm going to read it for you just so that you've got it in case you happen to be listening on Spotify. It's a bittersweet moment for Trackhouse, but I'm truly happy for Connor to get an opportunity that many drivers only dream of. While our goal was always to have him in our car for the long term, I'm still excited for the opportunity we have with him now and in 2027. Let's hold right there, and then I'll come back to the statement. This is pretty, it's pretty rote stuff when you stop and think about it. You know, he's putting a good spin on something that is going to hurt, at least in the short term, because we honestly don't know what he's going to do in 2028. We can get to that here in a moment. And to say that he's excited to have him through 2027, that's the stuff that you're supposed to say.
I've got a real good idea of who will probably be in that 88 car.
Okay. So let's fill in the rest here. At Trackhouse, our mandate remains to work hard, accomplish big things with Connor while we have him, position the 88 Chevrolet to move up into the 2028 Cup season, ready for a new, inspiring, and talented driver that will author the next chapter in this amazing book we're writing. But not yet, which means, as he should be, he needs to be looking at the positive and saying, hey, listen, we've got the couple of races left, New Hampshire, Daytona, and then the Chase, to try and get ourselves in the proper position with the 8, with the 97, with the 1, with the 88, 97, and 1, to launch ourselves into 2027 and hopefully have all 3 of our guns, the 1, the 88, and the 97, firing right. The mentality's there, at least on the statement, at least on paper, and I can appreciate that. But in the grand scheme of things, he's got to be looking ahead. He has to understand he needs a new driver. His statement seems to state that he does. We're looking for a new, inspiring, and talented driver, says his words there right towards the end. You say you think you know who it is. Who do you think he's going to target?
You're essentially about to envision a swap. They even trade. I have really good suspicion and thoughts that you will see Corey Day in the 88 car.
We've had a few people online state that they were disappointed that Corey Day wasn't going to get a shot in the 48 car. Is it because Corey Day isn't quite as prepared as Connor Zilic, or what do you think the story is why Rick Hendrick might go that route if this indeed comes together the way you think?
You got to look at right there the picture you see on YouTube right here, the picture of the fire suit that Zilic has on.
Mm-hmm.
I can say with complete certainty and confidence, that little corporation right there had a pretty large part in this. That money's coming over there too.
Sure.
But it's stated that Ally is staying on the 48 car. So Ally had a big say in it too.
Ally and Red Bull on the same car, that's not a bad combo to have.
No, that's the definition of an extremely fully funded car.
Yeah. And on top of that, I don't hear of them leaving Shane Van Gisbergen either. So that's good news for them and Track.
Yeah, but excuse me. That right there was probably single-handedly the biggest part. But when you look back at Zilic's years in the Xfinity, that's what I'm going to call it because that's what he was in, Xfinity.
Sure.
He was essentially driving a Hendrick Xfinity car.
True.
Essentially.
Yeah.
You got to look at it like that. So that is that level of camaraderie, let's call it that, is established. So you got to look back, all right? Who's the better suit for the car? Is it Corey Day or Connor Zilic? If you're looking at it by how that I've defined before on these platforms of ours, how I've defined my criteria for getting a Cup seat.
Correct.
Connor Zilic has Corey Day by a 5-1 margin.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, probably more like a 6-1 margin.
Well, I mean, what did he win last year? 10, 11 races?
10.
10.
And he had 2 more before that, so 12.
Yeah. So, yeah, easily said, no doubt about it. But Corey Day comes in as this heralded kid who effectively jumped over the Truck Series to land that full-time Xfinity, now O'Reilly Auto Parts Series ride. So Rick Hendrick, Jeff Gordon, and everybody in the front offices up there at Hendrick Motorsports saw something in him. But to then turn around and say, hey, we want to get Connor Zilic, and let's face I fully understand where you're coming from. If I'm Justin Marks and you're Rick Hendrick and you come to me and you say you want Connor Zilic out of my stable, I'm certainly looking at it and going, well, yeah, you can, but hey, let's cut a deal here because you got a pretty talented kid down there and I need to fill a seat come up in 2028. How about you let me take Corey Day? I understand right where you're coming from. But
I could legitimately see
what would possess Rick Hendrick to do that, knowing the fact that at some point in time, he's going to have to replace a William Byron, a Chase Elliott, and or a Kyle Larson. Is it just that he doesn't feel like he can keep Corey Day down in the secondary series that long?
This would be considered to me one of those Toyota style log jams. Hendrick essentially has a log jam because no time soon do I envision Chase Elliott getting out of the car. I don't envision William Byron getting out of the car no time soon. Nor do I envision Kyle Larson getting out of the car no time soon.
I think he's got about 5 or 6 more years.
Every one of them's got at least Elliott and Larson. I'm going to say they got it at least until they're 40.
I mean, Kyle Larson's actually said right about the time he turns 40, that's when he'll stop and he'll reevaluate everything one more time and see whether or not he wants to step out of Cup Series racing and go do really truthfully what he loves, which is to go and run around with his hair on fire on dirt tracks all across the country. We'll talk a little bit about that and give you some details about that run from Richmond up to Knoxville coming up on Saturday during the big show. But he's got to figure it out. And I'll be real honest with you, as much dirt track racing as he does, and as Rick Hendrick is very, very generous to allow him to do.
Hendrick sponsors his sprint car.
I know. The fact that he is willing to let him do all of those races, that's just keeping him happy and trying to keep him there as long as possible. But again, if you start talking about the fact that you're going to reevaluate it at 40, again, you were looking at what, 5 or 6 more years?
At least.
Something like that. I can't remember exactly how old Kyle is right now. I want to say 32, maybe 33. He might be older. I'd have to look it up. But you're trying to keep him happy because he's a talented kid. I mean, look at how many races he's won. He's got 2 titles under his belt. There's no doubt about it. Kyle Larson can drive that car to the edge and sometimes drive it a little bit over. But the thing that you know about Kyle Larson, you're either going to get a really good finish or probably going to have to fix a car. That's not really the worst situation to have because you know that kid knows how to drive that car right up to the edge, and he's going to do his level best to give you a really, really good result.
Kyle Larson's 34.
He's older than I thought. Okay, so 6 more years.
Yeah, 6 more years with him.
Okay.
You got at least, I'm going to say 8 to 10 with Chase Elliott.
Yeah, because I don't think he's reevaluating at 40.
Yeah, barring, let me word it this way, barring some type of unforeseen injury that he has in the race car, he's got at least 8 to 10, if not 12 or more.
Oh, yeah. Okay? I can see that.
William Byron, I'm going to say 12 to 15 because he's the youngest one of the bunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Corey
Day really has nowhere to go.
Yeah. To me, this might be actually a situation of, hey, I know I can't keep Corey Day down in the secondary series long enough to be able to put him in one of my cars that quick. So, yeah, it would make sense.
Because all things considering, excuse me, all things considered, being that Spire is essentially Hendrick's satellite team. There's no other way to say it. They're essentially the satellite team. You would think that his opportunity with Cup would be in a Spire car to where if Hendrick needed him, he could automatically just pull it because Corey Day drives trucks for Spire when he makes truck series starts.
Right.
Okay. Just like Connor Zilic is on the entry list at New Hampshire in a Spire truck this weekend. But at the same time, it's already been plainly said and plainly stated by by Michael McDowell, that when Tristan McKee is ready to get to Cup and ready to be in a Cup car, that's when Michael McDowell is retiring.
Okay, I can see that.
Because Carson Hocevar, he's not going anywhere no time soon.
No.
I don't see at the pace that Daniel Suarez has picked up this year, I don't see Daniel Suarez going anywhere.
No.
So the one open seat, and it's already done mistake because Tristan McKee is a Spire development driver. That seat's firmly his because when he makes his starts at ARCA East, he's wiping the floor with everybody just about it. Carson Brown, he's going to RCR. You know he's going to RCR, period. That's RCR. Sure. So Corey Day's in this situation. Do I stay and wait and be at my ceiling now, which is O'Reilly?
Mm-hmm.
Or if a door opens after 2027 and I can go to Cup, do I take it? There's your question mark.
Yeah. I want to say it was right about 10 years ago now when we were doing a previous iteration of the show on our first home, let's go put it that way, that I got a question from a listener who asked, when are we going to get some new blood? And I kept looking down at Nationwide and Truck Series and saying, it's coming. You just got to get a couple of people to move. This is round 2 of that.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't necessarily always come in spurts, and we've gotten some good talent here and there, but we are about to get a major influx over the next couple of years of very good young talent jumping up into the O'Reilly and Cup Series, and they're going to do it quick, and they're going to take over. And it's going to be fun to watch.
See, there's no doubt about it. There's in a lot of ways, in my opinion, that the log jam within some of these manufacturers and Cup cars is becoming really, really eerily similar to the log jam that F1 has.
Agreed. And look at what just recently happened within Formula One over here within the last couple of years. We've seen 6, 7 drivers suddenly jump in. So, you know, you that dam that's holding back those drivers, in this case, in the NASCAR situation, is really, really being strained, and it will break. And it looks like probably within the next couple of years, it's going to end up doing exactly that because there's just too much young talent not to break through.
Yeah, there's way too much. Way too much.
And of course,
somebody's in a log jam.
We'll keep you updated.
At the end of the day, the scenario that I could envision is a situation that was similar to when Brett Moffitt was loaned out to Front Row Motorsports, to when Chris Buescher was loaned out to Front Row Motorsports. That Hendrick lets Corey Day drive for Trackhouse on loan to fill the 88 car, because I could realistically see by the end of 2027, Corey Day would be ready to go to Cup.
And that answers that. It's a long way around to go back to that original question, but yeah. I'm right there with you. We got some talent down there. There's no doubt about it, and a lot of talent coming up. We got some pretty good talent right here on this show. I thank Matt Nicholson. I thank producer John as well for doing everything that he does for us. And of course, we'll be back coming up on Saturday morning with the big show. Make sure that you join us 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central Time. We're going to have all the news of the week. Again, working on some stuff, including the details of the travels of Kyle Larson, as he did make it to Knoxville to run the very, very prestigious Knoxville Nationals. We'll tell you all about that. Again, silly season is now really underway in Formula E now that their season is done. We'll talk about who's the champion and then get you set up as far as what the latest news is there. And of course, everything Formula One's back in action. Going to be a busy weekend on the track, and we've got the whole schedule for you as well. So once again, my thanks to Matt Nicholson, my co-host, producer John behind the scenes taking care of everything, and our thanks to you. We ask that if you haven't already, please subscribe down below. We do appreciate that. And if you've already done so, please tell somebody else about us, because, hey, let's spread the word, shall we? We'll talk to you Saturday morning. Thank you very much for checking us out on this edition of Cross Flags.
You've been listening to Crossed Flags, a racing podcast. For more content like this, subscribe to CRN Live on YouTube, and you'll be set to catch the 2-hour live show every Saturday morning at 9 Eastern, 8 Central.
This has been a presentation of the Championship Racing Network.